Student visa interviews have been particularly tricky in 2025 as we saw a lot of mass visa rejections in December and January. So you have to be over prepared. Now, as I talked to people who got rejected and looked at what questions they were asked, what responses they gave, I think I'm seeing a little bit of pattern here. There are two questions that look deceptively simple, but that's where you are going to trip up. So in today's video, I want to talk about these two trickiest visa interview questions, what they are, how to answer them with multiple example responses for each. So go through this list, save it, and keep watching till the end because I want to cover what's happening on visa front these days and what kind of trends I'm expecting in Trump government for F1 student visa interviews. All this on the other side of the intro. Keep watching. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for always supporting us, and we have just crossed 150,000 followers on Instagram, and where we post a lot of university shortlisting and H1B tips, updates, etc. So make sure you're following us there as well. Now coming to today's topic, crucial topic, I'm talking about two trickiest visa interview questions. So my agenda is to cover these two questions, also how to answer them, and in the concluding part, I want to talk about what's happening with student visa interviews in 2025, what to expect, how to stay prepared, etc. So let's get started. Let's start with the first tricky question, and this question is, what will you do after completing your studies? Now, the worst answer you can give here is, I want to work in the US for a few years before deciding whether to stay or return. Now, many students may not get it so wrong, but they might casually say something like, I will look for XYZ kind of roles. Now, saying something vague like this can be a mistake even if you don't mention that you will work in the US. So understand that F1 visa is a non-immigrant visa, meaning that you want proof that you will return to India after your studies. So it's recommended that you always sneak in somehow that you are going to return to India in your answer. So how do you answer this instead? Let me give you a couple of options here. For example, here is an industry specific answer. After completing my degree, I plan to return to India and work in the tech sector. My goal is to join a company like Salesforce and contribute to this kind of field. The expertise I gain from this program will give me an edge in India's growing XYZ sector. Second option is if you have a family business angle, right? So you can say something like, my family runs this kind of business in India and I intend to apply my education to expand and modernize it. The knowledge I gain in this program will help me implement specific strategies back home, right? That's always a good answer. Third option is if you plan for a further studies like PhD or something, you can always say that after completing my master's, I plan to return to India to pursue a PhD in this field and contribute to research in this area. India is investing heavily in this sector and I want to be part of that growth. Of course, you can choose this route only if the sector and the growth story is applicable for you. Fourth option can be if you're looking for a government sector pathway. This could be for public policy, law, civil engineering, etc. India is investing heavily in this sector and my goal is to contribute through roles in government agencies, ministry, organizations. This program will equip me with the skills needed to make an impact in India's this kind of landscape. And last, let me talk about option where we are focusing on India's booming job market angle. This could be for AI consulting business roles. So for example, India's this sector is booming and there's increased demand for professionals with global expertise. My goal is to gain specialized skills in this program and return to India to work at a multinational firm like Google in a product management role. So the crux here is keep your answer confident, but do try to include returning to India or a future in India in your answer without making it too obvious. And if you have family property in India, also try to mention it subtly to strengthen your case. Now let's look into the second tricky question, and that is why this university. Now why it's tricky is because most students give really generic or unprepared answers. For example, saying something like it's a top ranked university or it has good professors is not enough. It's very generic. Like in US, there might be 150 universities which have very good professors. So you have to be more specific and you have to show that you have done clear research and have genuine intention about attending this program. And this is one of the reasons we saw in my other videos where people were rejected for San Jose State University, etc., because they could not answer this question very convincingly. So I'm going to now show you couple of options for different scenarios and what could your example response look like. So first option is if you want to give a curriculum based answer, and this is true for academically driven students. So for example, you could say I chose CMU for its focus on AI and robotics. Their machine learning for business applications course and research under Professor XYZ align perfectly with my goal of working in AI driven automation. Second scenario is let's talk about giving a more research or faculty specific answer. This is more relevant for people who are interested in research. So example response here could be I chose Stanford because of its strong emphasis on NLP research. Professor XYZ's work in deep learning and AI ethics deeply resonates with my interests, and I'm excited to learn from this environment. Third option is if you want to talk about industry connects or internship opportunities for career focused students. So saying something like I chose NYU because of its strong connections with Wall Street firms like Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. Their finance program includes real world consulting projects, making it an excellent place for me to gain practical experience via internships. Now just a note here, because in current Trump administration we have to be extra careful. Do not give any hint of that you will try to find a job in US because of this program. Next option is talking about alumni network and career growth. This is mainly for business or management kind of students. For example, you could say Duke's Fuqua School of Business stood out to me because of its global alumni network in consulting. I spoke to an alumnus currently at BCG and they highlighted how Fuqua's case-based approach helped them excel in their role. So those are some excellent examples how you can confidently answer this tricky question. Now for the final part of this video, I want to talk about what's happening with student visa interviews in India in 2025 and what can we expect this year. So I'm seeing two broader trends. First is that we might see more slots but also higher scrutiny. So the good news is that US has increased the number of F1 visa interview slots for Indian students, which makes it easier for you to secure an appointment. But the challenge is that visa officers are being more cautious than ever, especially given Trump's focus on the immigrant conversations. So they are really fine combing the applicant's intent. So we are seeing a lot more 214B rejections, especially for students who appear unsure about their post-study plans. Second trend is rise in reapplications. Many students are reapplying after initial rejections. So if that happens, don't panic. Address the gaps in your answer, rework your explanations and apply again with stronger clarity. And finally, like what am I expecting in 2025? I think visa officers will prioritize clear, well-structured answers. Secondly, you must be careful about your financial documentation. That will be under more scrutiny because they want to ensure that only those students are going to US who can actually afford those studies. And finally, you have to be very clear about showing your intent to return to India. That will remain the most critical factor. So be prepared with a strong response if this question comes up. Hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments. And also if you need more visa tips, say visa in the comments and we will try to create more videos like this. So that's all from my side. Hope all going well. Let's not panic and stay prepared for what lies ahead. I will see you guys next week with another fresh new video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.